Hello, Tim here. Welcome to my channel. In today's episode, I'm going to be talking about limewood. Found out about it when I was researching, learning about Gringling Gibbons. And this is a book I have of his work. And he has some of the most amazing wood carving work in the world. And I saw his work recently, but this episode is not so much about Gringling Gibbons' work as about basswood or linden or limewood. It's the same species. So the species is Tilia americana, which is American basswood, or Tilia europaea, if I'm pronouncing that right. Now, it just depends on where you live as to what you call it. And so lime in England is what Gringling Gibbons carved his amazing work in. Germany, in Oberammergau, they call it Linden. And we call it Linden here in basswood. White wood it's sometimes called. But I'm going to start with what I think of basswood as. I'm going to just refer to as basswood. This happens to be a piece of limewood that I got, or linden, from Germany. The rest of it I'm going to talk about, just use the term basswood. I picked these leaves off of a tree in Bavaria. And this is the European version of the basswood lime tree. They're heart-shaped. And this is a little irregular, but it's very similar. But the serrations on the border here, it's a little more pronounced. And this is a basswood tree I have in my backyard. So the leaves are very similar. I brought these home from Europe just out of curiosity to compare with what I have here at home. And this is a piece of 8/4 basswood here. And that's a piece of 1 inch or 4/4 basswood. That's what the bark looks like. And the trees are very similar. So starting out with what I find amazing about basswood is that you can do things with it. It's probably the of all woods, it's probably the most user-friendly wood that I know of. In a previous video, I have my five top favorite woods for carving. And I don't know, basswood might become the top. I think I had sugar pine as a top favorite. Basswood it's a very common wood. So I'm going to talk about common uses all the way up to noble uses. But the basswood is used for common things like paint sticks and Venetian blinds, model making, piano keys, boxes. Years ago, before cardboard was common, they'd make box finger joint cartons for shipping, and buckets, furniture. Even plywood is made, lumber core plywood. This is a piece of birch veneered lumber core, which is basswood core. So the virtue of lumber core plywood is it just stays stable. It's a very predictable wood. It is not much dimensionally changing. And with pine, for example, you got knots and you got maybe variations of grain which will cause it to cup or bow or something like that. So it's a little more difficult to have wide, flat planks of pine. Unless it's sugar pine or ponderosa, then they get it wide planks without knots. The thing I like about basswood is it's a wood to me that allows you to make it into what you want it to be. An exotic piece of wood, for example, a lot of times it's just used for tabletops or something like that. Whereas basswood can be manipulated into a lot of different things. This is a piece of basswood here that's very pretty curly grain, but I dyed this with an aniline dye, and it looks like some other kind of species of wood. And I really like that feature about basswood. Here's a project I did years ago. It's a baseball bat. This is 7 feet tall. and the grain was carved, actually light cuts in there with a V-tool, and then highlighted with a stain or a glaze to get that ash look. So it was enlarged to look like a giant ash bat, but it's not as near as heavy as what ash would be. So I made that as a novelty years ago. Other times I've used basswood. It's paintable. You can manipulate it into a lot of different things. There's the common use for basswood, and it's also used for palaces in fine carvings. So that's what I find basswood is an amazing tree. That's my Crazy Wood Corner for this episode. Thanks for watching. Please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe if you would. And we'll see you next time.